only it's actually larger. That's just incredible. We know Camille was a very strong storm that caused numerous deaths and was a very serious situation. And that's what we're reporting this morning. Unfortunately, we have a very serious situation. Craig, we've got Craig. He's a meteorologist in the Miami area, and he's got some comments related to this latest information. By the way, the discussion, it did also come out as of 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time just recently, and we will go over that in just a bit here. So, Craig, please go ahead. There we go. We got you some audio. I guess you came out. I gave you audio before. Perfectly clear.
People along the coast are probably not listening to us. The only thing they're hearing maybe are people that are close. And hopefully most people will leave, will evacuate. People that are listening to us, the Florida, I think those folks that are hearing us need to consider also the impacts of this well inland, because it's going to take some time for the winds to come down, for the storm to come down. There's a freezer and freeze it so you can move it to the refrigerator to keep food cold. I think those folks need to start doing things now to prepare to be able to make it 4 days, if not weeks, after the storm has passed, because a lot of attention is going to go towards the coast, but I think where this thing comes ashore, that part of the coast is going to be nearly unrecognizable. Whatever was standing there is not going to be, it's going to be hard to make out what it was. So I think a larger number of people inland need to start taking this very seriously, because why not have their houses blown away, but it's going to be pretty uncomfortable in late summer to go for weeks without air conditioning or something like that. That's my 2 cents.
Well, that's a solid $2. That's very good information, Craig. Absolutely, and we mentioned that before. I mean, this is a huge hurricane, a very strong hurricane. It could get even stronger yet, and it's going to take a while to weaken hundreds of miles inland. At the rate that it's going, it would not surprise me at all. Of course, a lot of that will depend on the speed and the terrain that it eventually goes over, but I think that there's going to be some damage, serious damage, well inland for this one, and we are very concerned for those people. Nobody is safe right now in Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, heck, even Louisiana. This is going to be a very serious situation, and as we read in the advisory, they're taking it all the way up to the Tennessee Valley and the Great Lakes as far as repercussions. At this point, they're mentioning serious rainfall amounts. And, even when the storm's well inland, sure, there's going to be additional tornadoes and probably a serious tornado outbreak. We were talking with Michael Moss yesterday or late last night as well. And I mean, there's going to be a serious tornado outbreak issue with this as well. I would be expected. But it's not even so much that. It's going to be a hurricane inland, and we're talking some serious damage here. This is way more serious than any of the hurricanes that hit Florida last year. Like Nelson said before, this pretty much locks the cake for you. We're going to have a whole new wave of meteorologists coming out in the next few years. No doubt they can expect the enrollments for the meteorology courses to probably go up after a system like this, because if you were interested in weather before, this one snagged you for a lifetime. Aaron, go ahead and pass on some information that you have or some opinion that you have related to the situation.
Absolutely. First of all, I got up this morning, 160, saw the 11 a.m., 175. Wow. This is just, if you live in the path of this thing, you have about a 10% chance of surviving, in my opinion. You will not survive if you're on the coast. This thing is going to bring an enormous storm surge just under 30. I said storm surge just under 30 feet. It's intense. It's large. It's possibly going to be the worst, largest Category 5 to ever hit the U.S., and for that, possibly the worst ever Category 5 in the Atlantic Basin. It's possible. Right now, I don't think that's too likely. I'd say about a 30% chance of that. But I'd say about a 90% chance that this thing comes into New Orleans as a Category 5 hurricane. This is nasty. Right now, it's expected to come in just east of New Orleans. That would be great. We want that to happen. it comes in just west, that's even worse for New Orleans. I'm just amazed. I get up, this is a perfect, picture-perfect, annular, donut-shaped, whatever you want to call it, hurricane with a stadium effect in the eye. I think I might begin to notice the pentagram features. It's just continuing to strengthen. Just continuing to strengthen. I cannot believe that. It's just, I'm amazed at this storm. And we're having a discussion on the station about radar. You know, wow, Charlie's been the best hurricane we've ever seen on radar. Because, I mean, Andrew was there, but, you know, its radar technology was in its infancy back then as far as the WSR 88Bs. But this will be a perfect hurricane on radar. This will go on when we see a textbook nowadays that's printed with a hurricane in it and what a major Category 5 looks like. It will be Katrina. I just can't believe that the list now grows. The 1935 Labor Day storm, Hurricane Camille, Hurricane Andrew, and Hurricane Katrina.
Yep, you're not alone in those thoughts, Aaron. It's definitely an incredible situation that's developed here, and we're very concerned for the people in the United States, especially along the Gulf course. And I say that by the United States. Okay, Craig, thanks for coming in this morning. Yeah, please do stop back. Right, we agree with you, and we're wishing our folks the best along the Gulf Coast of Mexico, the Gulf of Mexico coast, definitely. We'll talk to you later, Craig. Thank you so much for contributing in to this morning. So, once again, there's something that I didn't get out yet. We're good about getting information out here, and we got a little daylight time forevermore. It's after 11. We're usually before the gun here, but there's just so much to talk about. We want to make sure that people get their opinions in, and very much so a serious situation here. Craig, are you still there? Did you have a final comment? I just see you still in the room, and you're sure welcome to be there. I just want to make sure that before you go.
No, I'm in good shape. Just hoping the best for these folks. And we faced it down here in Miami, and we were just facing a Category 1. So I think most of us it's just waiting for the thing to get there. That can be very, very unnerving and stressful. So there are always things that happen in the atmosphere that could make things not as severe. It could move a little bit farther to the east or whatever. I mean, it doesn't look good right now, but we just have to hope the best.
I couldn't agree more with you, and it's a good thing. And absolutely, we're concerned with things that happen in South Florida, and we know there's a recovery going on there right now. Unfortunately, no one's really focusing on that right now. I think right now what we're seeing here is catastrophic damage up in that area, and we're wishing the best for the folks up there and that are going to be affected by this system, and you people down in South Florida and the Keys as well. So thanks again for coming on. And, I want to go over this discussion here that came out. So at 11 a.m. This morning, Air Force hunters just measured a 166-knot flight level wind in the northeast eye wall, which requires an additional upward adjustment of current intensity to 150 knots. A drop in the eye gave a central pressure of 907 millibars. Katrina is compared to intensity of Camille in 1969, only larger. GPS drops on data from a NOAA G4 mission earlier today showed Katrina's intense cyclonic circulation extending through the 200 millibar level, with the flow spiraling anticyclonically outward in a well-developed upper-level outflow pattern beyond a couple hundred nautical miles from the center. Fluctuations in strength due to internal structure changes are likely prior to landfall. Hurricanes rarely sustain such no obvious in the system, and it is expected that the hurricane will be a Category 4 or 5 intensity when it reaches the coast. Gradually middle of the dynamical model guidance, which are rather tightly clustered, recalling that the average NHC 24-hour forecast error is about 80 nautical miles. The actual landfall point still could be anywhere from southeastern Louisiana to the Mississippi coast. Also, we must continue to stress that the hurricane is not just a point on the map, because destructive winds, torrential rains, storm surge, and dangerous waves extend well away from the eye. It is impossible to specify